This is the August 19th, 2014 City Council meeting where Seaview Terrace is supposed to be getting paved now after 4 years of City Manager Joe Slocum stating that he will pave it. And they've been underway with corrupt engineer plans to do an improper paving, and I had been campaigning to get funding through the TIF, Northport Avenue TIF, to get proper drainage on Seaview Terrace for 2 years, and that's another meeting that they took that away from me. So they gave the engineer, Mandy Alver from Alver Engineers, tainted maps that show my ditch. It's just a ditch, it's not a stream, but the city has made it into a stream. And they gave her maps showing that this ditch was not even part of my property, which gave her permission to go in and give options to send more water to my private property, because it doesn't show as being my property. And then later on they go and say that all the maps are off by a couple feet in Maine. And I told them that everybody in the state of Maine knows that this ditch/stream is running through my property. This guy is the minister of the UU Church, and in November I went to volunteer over there. I thought they were feeding kind of like a food kitchen, the homeless, and I was alone. Anyway, so I went down there to volunteer, and I walked in and I saw it was a sit-down dinner for the church, and I thought I was gonna die because most of the community goes there. So I couldn't run out, and I went into the kitchen and started helping peeling potatoes and whatnot. And this one guy, we had similar mutual friends in Bayside. So he does food samples up at Hannaford, Marshall. So he's a nice guy. I felt comfortable, so I thought, well, maybe I will stay for the dinner. This actually feels pretty nice to be around people. Then I went out in the hallway and I was looking at the members of the church board, and City Council Roger Lee is on there. He's the treasurer. I thought I was going to pass out, so I just ran into the kitchen abruptly and said, I gotta go. And I just ran out of there because the people were going to be coming any minute, and I'm thinking that Roger's going to walk in and thinking that I was there on purpose, just to spite him, to show him that I could come to his church. So yeah, that's how it goes. So this guy's over here, this Minister Perkins is his name. He's trying to get a compassionate cities thing going. I sent him email after email to try and get him to help me, and he didn't even respond. But here he is begging for city funding to fund his compassionate cities. Anyway, here we go.
Many, many other things. We also think that there is always more that a community can do, especially when we conscientiously work together as a city to value even more deeply compassion, caring, empathy for others.
What a crock.
We hope that you will agree and that you will support the efforts to become part of the Compassionate City program. Thank you.
And I'm up next. You'll see this guy in the white hair right there with the sandals on in the front row. That's Pendleton. He's like beloved by the community, does all these trails and stuff. He turns his head and scowls at me almost every time he sees me. I'm going to talk about Captain Albert Stevens School. 2 years in corruption, trying to get them to investigate this and straighten it out.
I'm here to talk about stormwater and on Seaview Terrace, and that we're not a natural outlet. You keep saying it's the Morris Brook. Pretend even if it was, the point to think that you would send all this water to us trying to say it was a natural outlet is insane. So the way to correct this would be, at the Captain Albert Stevens School, I've told you several times that it was corruptly planned out. This is the legal outlet that's supposed to go down to the $2 million improvements to the North Street. And instead, the terrain was lowered down to do this illegal culvert, which allows all that runoff from Cass to pour down into there, which comes down all the way to the watershed residents. It also merges with the muck. Close that off. Let it go down through Miller Street where it's supposed to go. As far as over on the other side of the Captain Albert Stevens school on the athletic field, that's coming down into the Belfast and Hilltop Birches, and it shouldn't be, which also goes over to Volunteers of America, and from there, under culverts, across Route 1 to the National Guard, and to Larrabee's. And from there, it follows down past Praise Homes. The path goes in the back, picking up more water from I don't know where. And there's 3 culverts to send it back over Route 1, one directly into Seaview Terrace, behind the houses opposing my street, and I think there's another one in over here. Close up these culverts. Let the water run down to the bypass that city maintained where those culverts are to take it to the Bay's outlet. Where on White Street where Roger Pickering's house is, you have the double culverts there to handle all that illegal running coming from Cass. Now that you'll have that going out to Miller Street, you can redirect that water to go down to the city park, the ravine down there, and get that water out of here. And then all the water that's coming to us from Tall Pines and Mid-Coast Mental Health along Route 1 into the culvert on top of Seaview Terrace, block that off. Let that all run down to the bypass to city-maintained property and out to the bay. And close off the second path on White Street on the lower half that picks up more water from behind the annex and dumps it straight into my backyard. And then where the annex is, that also wasn't correctly packed out. Mike Hogan said it was going to be pouring out behind David Smith's house, but it's coming out behind my house. So make that path go a little bit further down to where it was approved behind David Smith's. Then the water's out of Seaview Terrace, and it's we're saved. So Mike Hurley sent me an email on August 17th. Hi,
Mike Hurley, City
I know
Council.
you do not like the stream, Morrison Brook, but it was there before any non-natives showed up. Has it been pushed over? Yes. Been messed with by all the various forces of man? Yes. But capable of a 6-foot wall of water? It's impossible, physically impossible. If 12 inches of rain fell, it would not all head down Morrison Brook. The house and land you bought with a stream on it is not the Grand Canyon. If that much water ever did fall, it would not be contained and would simply go in other routes dictated by gravity and least resistance. By the way, I walked your mapped area, and you are off by about 40% with far less water being routed into Morrison Brook than your maps show. I'll show you on your map sometime. Well, I'm here, Mike, so you can show me. Anyway, I have spoken with many people, and they like the stream in their yard, I'm assuming, and I'm figuring that's David Smith, who doesn't even own stream property, and do not fear it or feel threatened by it. So Engineer Hurley states I'm off by 40%, so the city can certainly handle their forced runoff on city-maintained property. Paving Seaview Terrace
That's Mike Hurley.
without getting the water out is a waste. The road will get wiped out and roadside ditches will turn into rapids like my backyard and rip away private property while flooding every house since we get it from all 3 sides. Some pumps will back up for those that are not illegally tied to sewage lines, which is another reason why neighbors keep quiet. If they aren't sending it through the sewage lines, then they are sending it to me because there is no drainage on Seaview Terrace. I get it all along with miles and miles outside runoff. The pictures I sent you show all the water coming to me. I am the only resident in residence on Seaview Terrace that owns city forest stream property. And to wrap it up, City Councilor Mike Hurley is harassing me and alienating me further from my neighbors with his Morris Brook deception, dismissing the water I tracked and the measured rainfall of 3 inches equating to 3 feet of water through my property / ditch. Now he is acting as an engineer to advise me that the Seaview Terrace can't get slaughtered by the city's forced water. The development plans for Seaview Terrace and the Belfast City engineer Neil Finlayson confirmed the developer put in private property drainage ditches with no rights of ways, no easements, never a natural outlet, no rights whatsoever for the city to send us all this water. Seaview Terrace would be gone if those 6 inches that flooded Portland and Freeport last week fell here. You know it and you deny it. And that's premeditated slaughter. Thank you. You want to show me the map, Mike? Where I'm 40% off?
Not right now.
Not.
I look forward to it. Always a pleasure.
He's such a jerk. Did you see him laughing when I said that he was harassing me and alienating me from the community? He just thinks it's funny and that he has every right to do that. And later on in the meeting he'll go after me again, but I'm not going to bother taping that. Not yet anyway. Okay, bye.